Thank you, Chanel, and welcome everyone to a macrame hoop class today where I'm going to teach you a couple of basic macrame stitches, or macrame knots, I should say, and then we're going to put them together in order to make something fabulous. So you might see this hoop behind me. You can add some wooden beads, you can add some extra knots, you can do something that's kind of dream catcher-esque, but also has a really fun feel to it with macrame. What we're going to be doing today uses yarn. But if you're into macrame cording, you can do exactly the same thing we're doing with actual macrame cording. I chose the yarn today because it's easy to teach the knots with the yarn, and also honestly it's a lot less expensive, so it's a really nice starter craft to learn some of these macrame knots, and then you can invest more into nicer materials and upgrade and make all sorts of fun things. So we'll go ahead and switch cameras. And over here, you're going to see one of my finished macrame hoops. So we're going to do a little bit of weaving. We're going to do some knots that are called Lark's head knots. And we're going to do some knots down here that are called double half hitch. And then if we have time, I'll show you how to add some beads, how to add some extra knots down here, just to give it some different flavor and different feel. But there's lots of different ways that you can do this hoop. So I really want you to go wild and do your own. So here are three different suggested kind of yarns to start with. I've been using the Charisma from the Loops and Threads. So I really like these natural ones. So you can do it all in one solid color like the one I showed you behind, or you can do it with one of these variegated yarns. So this Charisma right here in this particular color is called Northern Lights or Aurora Borealis. And so that's the yarn that I used here. And the way that I got all those different colors was literally just by cutting up the same skein of yarn. And it just naturally changed the colors, and I was able to kind of put the colors where I wanted them in order to make a pattern on purpose. But feel free to buy one, to buy two, to buy three skeins, whatever colors you want, in order to kind of mix and match and find your style on your hoop. You can also fill up the entire hoop, but I really kind of like that space, and I like the design that comes from not filling the whole entire space. So that's up to you. And then you have this hanging part too, so you can decide if you want to cut it on a diagonal, if you want to cut it with a point, if you want to add some extra beads or feathers or different things like that, you're absolutely welcome to do that as well. So for those of you who have joined me live today, I'd love to know if you're going to be crafting with me or if you're just watching. So if you're crafting with me, then I can slow the process down and make sure that I'm showing everything so that you have time to follow along. But if you're just kind of watching and planning on trying this again later yourself, then I might speed up a couple of places. But we should have plenty of time to finish our hoop in this 1 hour class together. So thank you for letting me know. Ooh, I'm so glad some of you are crafting with me. So I would love to do the whole thing from start to finish with you as well. I think what I'm going to be going with is this green. I love that so many of you are crafting. Thank you. So I'm going to go with this green Charisma yarn. And my very first step is going to be to cut a bunch of bundles of yarn. So you saw on my hoop that I had all these different strands that did knots and came across. So we're going to be working with 16 strands all together. So we'll have 8 on this side and 8 on this side that'll kind of weave together. So that'll be great. If you want to start a little smaller, if you're a little bit nervous about trying to get it done as fast as I'm doing it, you can always do 4 and 4 and do a total of 8 bundles. But we're going to cut these little bundles of yarn, and the bundles of yarn that we're going to be cutting are each going to be about 90 inches. Now, 90 inches is way more than enough yarn. It's a lot of extra yarn because if you start doing extra knots and adding in beads down here, you're going to need some of that extra yarn in order to still give you plenty of length on that waterfall part for you to be able to cut and decide how long you want those strands to be. So the first thing you'll want to do is figure out what 90 inches looks like. So I have an acrylic ruler that is 18 inches long. And what's really nice about this particular acrylic ruler in this particular project is that if I wrap my yarn around it 5 times, guess what? 5 times 18 is 90. I didn't count. I was talking. So here's one length of 18. Going back up the back is 2, 3, 4, 5. And so 8 times 18 is my 90 inches of yarn. And I'm just going to peel this off of my ruler. And then I'm going to kind of keep track of these 16 little bundles. So I'm purposely making these little bundles because I don't want to just throw a big pile of yarn into a basket, because then it's going to start getting knotted up and it's going to be hard for me to work with. So keep your little bundles nice and neat. And we are going to cut 18 bundles. Now, once you have that length it's easy for you to just match that same length. So you can just pull it and start cutting that 90 inches, and then just nicely and neatly fold up those little bundles. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting a total of 16 bundles. And if you have 2 colors or want to use different colors, you can cut however many you want of each. Maybe 8 and 8, or maybe 4 different colors and 4 of each, whatever you think is going to work best for you. And at this point, I'm just matching that length of 90 inches, and I'm cutting my 16 different bundles. I'm curious to know, those of you who are playing along, or if any of you plan to do this in the future, what colors you're using. If you're going for kind of an earthy, natural look, or if you like that purple and blue, or something more, maybe it's matching an actual bedroom you have. That would be a cool thing to do too. And you can see me just continuing to get to 16 of these strands. And it seems to be, ooh, the green and off-white. Yep. I really like this white color that I found, speckled turquoise. That'll be pretty, Patty. This one right here, I love this color. I'm trying to see, it doesn't seem to have a name of a color, but I like that it's kind of speckled. So it gives you a little bit more color. And then of course, if you put some wooden beads in here, it'll be nice to pop those browns off of it and kind of be able to see those. I think a speckled turquoise would look really pretty. I was very surprised how well this Northern Lights yarn turned into that beautiful hoop I showed you before. I was very pleased with the way that that color work ended up working out for me. Now you might notice that my measurements are not all perfectly even, and that is more than okay. As long as we have a good length, we're good to go, because we're always going to be trimming down at the end also. So let me kind of take a moment and see how many I have so far. I'm at 12, so I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to try and keep this into a nice bundle. There we go. To try and keep from extra knots happening. And I think I said that I was at 12. So if you've just joined us, we are cutting 16 bundles of 90 inches. And 90 inches is way more than enough. So if you have less yarn than a full skein and you're worried about running out, you can cut them shorter than 90. Or if you think that they're too long and hard for you to make knots with, you can shorten them too. I'm just doing way more than enough because I want to be able to have some space in case we want to do any extra knots. 1, 2, 4. And I believe that I'm just about at 16. And I know some of you will still be cutting, and that's okay. So what's great about what we're about to do is that I'm going to show you 2 different knots. And the first knot, the lark's head knot, is a great attachment knot for just about any kind of macrame that you're doing. So if you see those macrames that are done on those long pieces of wood and things like that, almost always the way you start is with something called this lark's head knot. So this is a great knot for pretty much any macrame project that you're working on. And I think some of you are probably ready with me, but if you're not ready and you're still cutting, don't worry, because I'm going to show this lark's head knot 16 times. So you're going to catch on to it, I promise. So here's one of my bundles of 90 inches, and I want to fold it in half to be able to find the center. So take the two ends, and I'm finding the center. And here's my hoop. Now, a couple things about my hoop. This is a 10-inch wire hoop from Michaels, and there's usually a crack in the hoop somewhere of where the metal touches the metal to form that circle. So that's kind of your like halfway marker. And sometimes I take a piece of masking tape or washi tape or something that I can easily take back off later and mark that line. And then going straight across, even using my ruler if I can, to this circle. Since I know this is a 10-inch hoop. Where's my numbers? Oh, here they are. Had it upside down. Here it is, this 10-inch hoop. Then I can go across and know that this is exactly the center over here. And these tape guides are going to kind of help me keep everything centered. And you'll see that when I was making this particular one, I split the center and had some extra space down here. And then eventually I pushed these together and took off the tape and covered up the center down here. But that's going to be up to you at the end, how you want to kind of design it. So I folded this piece in half, the 90 inches, and then I have the top of my hoop and the bottom of my hoop. I'm going to take the loop, the halfway of this 90 inches, and I'm going to put it under my hoop. So the loop is under the hoop, and then I'm going to take the two ends and I'm going to go through this. So the loop is coming towards me and it's under the metal hoop, and then these ends are going to go all the way through. And this right here is what we call a lark's head knot. And a lark's head knot just really is a great way to attach any fibers, any macrame cord, any yarn to your original design. So if you want two colors, I recommend doing 8 of green and 8 of white or whatever colors you're using. So you need 16 total, but I don't care how you split up the colors. I'm going to be doing a solid green one. So I am going to use all 16 of mine in green for this particular project. So this was my first lark's head knot. And if you're still cutting, don't worry, because I'm going to keep doing these lark's head knots in order to attach them all onto my hoop. So now I'm taking my next piece of yarn and I'm folding it in half to find the center. And then I'm putting that center loop underneath the hoop. So it's coming down towards me underneath the hoop. And then I'm taking the two ends and going through that loop and just pulling. Now, one thing I want you to notice too is that if you look at the front, if you see this lark's head knot, you can see that little bit of yarn that crosses over. If I flip this over, you're going to notice that the lark's head knots, you might not be able to see that well with the green, but see how that silver's shining through on this side? So this is actually the back of the lark's head knot, whereas this is the front because the two strands are super close to each other and they don't have any of those gaps in them. So these are the fronts of all of our lark's head knots and the other side is the back. So I'm going to attach 8 of these lark's head knots going on this direction, and I'm going to attach 8 on this direction. Now, if you're playing with colors, it will matter how you're going to attach your colors. So on this particular example, I kind of mirrored out the colors where I started with purple on the inside and then turquoise, darker green, lighter green, blue, darker green. So you can kind of pick your color pattern, but I would probably suggest symmetry unless you want one side to be all one color and one side to be all the other color. But if you want to have this nice kind of pattern at the end that looks like a nice weave, then you probably want to mirror your colors as you're setting them up. So we're going to put 8 lark's head knots on one side. We're going to put 8 lark's head knots on the other side, and then I'm going to show you how to weave those together. So we cut 16 total, 8 on each side. And now we're just attaching all of those 16 pieces onto our hoop. So if you have some questions, let me know, but I will keep showing this knot over and over again, so I bet you'll catch on real quick. So the halfway loop goes under the hoop, and then I pull the ends through that loop and go ahead and pull all the way through in order to tighten up that knot and secure it to the hoop. Now I'm going to keep going on this side, and then I'm going to switch over to the next side. So I know we got some different colors going on. We have some green and off-white. We have some speckled turquoise. So if you are also making one, I would love to see what you end up with. My personal Instagram is 4M Coleman. So you're welcome to follow me and kind of keep track of the different classes that I'm teaching. Yesterday, I taught a class on a hand knit pillow. So if you've ever wanted to try hand knitting, we made these cute little hand knit pillow poofs, which is really adorable. And also if you're into macrame or you're just starting to get into macrame, I've taught a class before too that's on YouTube right now, which it was a macrame feather earring class. So we did use some of these Lark's head knots and attached a bunch of the macrame cording to make earrings that look like feathers, which ended up being really pretty. 3, 4, 5. I love that Northern Lights color. So feel free to play with that color and decide what order you want them in. But that was a really fun surprise that so many of those ended up looking so pretty. The Charisma comes in lots of solid colors, but it also does come in quite a few of those mixed color skeins, which is nice. And this is just a relaxing craft for us this afternoon. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. And I like the weight of this Charisma yarn because it fills the hoop and the yarn feels pretty thick, but it's still very easy to work with. I was saying at the very beginning that you're welcome to actually use macrame cording, but macrame cording tends to be a little bit more expensive. So with something like this where you use 90 inches, it could become pretty expensive. So yarn's a good way to practice and a good way to try. And then if you feel great about it, move on to some of those more expensive materials. And I think you'll really like that too. So I have 8 on this side. And remember, I have this little piece of tape marking my center. I'm going to put 8 on this side as well, doing exactly the same thing. Each time I'm folding my hoop, my big long strand in half to find the center. And then when I find the halfway of my strand, I put the loop under and I pull those ends all the way through. If you start seeing gaps, you might have accidentally done it backwards. So just to show you the difference, if I fold my yarn in half and do my loop this way, instead of coming towards me, this is going to create, whoa, wow, did you see that spin? Woo, spin action. So this is going to create, it knew I was doing it wrong. It's going to create this gap, which is going to be the Lark's head knot backwards. So that was an incorrect way, which is why I spun you around my room. So I apologize for that. But I am going to do 8 on this side. I'm going to do it the correct way, which means I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to put the loop towards me and underneath the hoop. And then I'm going to put my ends through. And by doing it the same way every single time, they're all going to be facing the same direction. Now you can purposely do them in different directions in order to add some interest or to add something that looks a little bit different each time. So once you learn those basics, that's what's great about macrame is just learning a couple of knots like the 2 that we'll focus on today. You can really just keep experimenting and keep trying different things in order to make very different designs each time. So here's my next bundle. And after we have finished all 16 of these Lark's head knots, we are going on to something called the double half hitch knot, which really is, if you've ever been into horses or anything, something that you could actually might already know from some of your horse days. It's funny how everyday types of skills can transfer into some really cool craft skills too. Great. Fold it in half. And I would love anyone who does end up creating something to share with us at our Learn with Michaels Instagram. So you can tag us at Learn with Michaels, and then I can see your picture and we can even share it with everybody else if you're interested in a little show and tell afterwards. So I hope you end up creating something that you're proud of and that you'd want to show off. So I am at 5, and I have 3 more to go. Aw, sad that you don't have Instagram. But if you can also take pictures and put them into this chat. So if anyone happens to finish during the class and wants to share with everybody, you can do it that way too. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm glad that so many of you are doing this with me today. That makes it more fun. But if you happen to go back on Monday and watch this video, if you don't have time to finish or if you get lost, on Monday on our Michaels YouTube channel, this will be available for you. Also, the materials, the supplies are always in the description of the class video. So you can remember later, oh, there was that one craft I wanted to try. And you can go grab those materials and try it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Okay. So I have 8 and 8, and I bet that you're close, if not there yourself. So again, this is one of those things where I'm going to show the same thing over and over again. So you can kind of watch, or you can catch me on one of the next ones. But the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that all of my strands are in order. So making sure that they're not tangled, making sure that they're not on top of each other, and making sure that they're all in the correct order so that they lay perfectly flat. So I'm organizing all of my strands. And that's going to be my first step after doing all 16 of those lark's head knots. Here we go. And then we're going to attach these onto this side of the hoop. So the part where the metal connects be the top or the bottom, that's a great question. I don't think it matters, but I wouldn't put it on the side. I would put that connector, either make that the top or make that the bottom, just so that you don't see it in the blank space on the side. So we can hide it with all of our yarn. Great question. Okay, this side looks good to go. I'm going to kind of fold these up. This kind of looks like a person with a lot of hair. It's funny. I'm going to fold these up and kind of put these off to the side, and we're going to focus on these. So these are going to come across the center, which means here's my blue line of tape. So notice how I just kind of moved these on the diagonal in order to come onto this side of the tape. So we're going to set all of these up, and then we're going to come back to this hair that's hanging out here on the side, and we're going to take those and kind of weave them through once we already have this kind of like loom set up for ourselves. So here we go with the double half hitch knot. I'm going to take only one of the strands. So I'm going to take one of the strands, and I'm going to put the strand underneath the metal hoop. And I will repeat this over and over again, so don't worry if you're not here yet. So one strand underneath the hoop, and then the way you do the double half hitch is you wrap once towards the right. So I'm going to wrap around the hoop one time towards the right. And then I'm about to wrap towards the left. But when you wrap towards the left, I want you to keep an extra loop down here with your finger, because you want this end to come through that loop before you pull it nice and tight. And that is the double half hitch. So step one was get your yarn underneath the hoop. Then you're going to wrap one time to the right. And then when you wrap to the left, you're going to kind of hold on to some of it down here because you want it to come through that before you pull it nice and tight. And then you have these double half hitches, and they're connecting these across your hoop and keeping that nice and tight for you. And this is what you're going to do to all of these strands. So you pull it under the metal hoop, wrap around to the right, wrap around to the left, but before you pull it, make sure that the end goes through before you pull. And hopefully I'm explaining that well enough and that you know what I'm talking about. But let me know if you have questions or you want me to try and explain it in a different way. But you're going to become an expert at this double half hitch, and you're going to get faster and faster and be able to connect all of these. So make sure that you're always starting with the yarn underneath the hoop. Otherwise, you're going to do it backwards again. Wrap to the right, wrap to the left, but before you pull, make sure that end comes through the loop. And I love having this tape in order to kind of keep me on track so that my diagonals are nice and straight across that center. To the right, to the left, and pull. How tight is the yarn in the middle of the hoop? Great question. Mine is not very tight at all. So it's pretty loose. It can be as tight or as loose as you'd like, and either way, it's still going to work out. The knots kind of, when I start messing with these yarns, they will kind of loosen naturally or give a little bit more give, and that's not a bad thing, so that's okay. Going to the right and to the left and through. And I'm setting up all of these first 8 knots worth of yarn as kind of like the loom that I'm going to weave through. And again, you can do different color work. You can also, at this point, if you want to, you could add beads onto this one before you do your double half hitch. So if you wanted some beads to show up in the center of your hoop, you could do that. Or you can wait until the end to add some more beads. That's kind of up to you. Or you might not want any beads at all, and it might be just fine with you the way it is. So I'm gonna stop talking for a second and speed up my process. I just did one upside down. Oh, nope, I got it. Yep, I did. Actually, can you slow it down one more time? Yes, I can, because I just think I did this one incorrectly. So here's the yarn underneath the hoop. I'm wrapping around the hoop to the right of this original yarn. And then I'm wrapping around the hoop on the left-hand side of that original yarn, but I'm making sure that the end comes under the hoop and kind of through this loop down here, so that when I pull that all the way tight, that's what I end up getting. So it starts under the hoop, wraps around to the right, and then when you're wrapping around to the left, just keep some of this extra yarn hanging down here in a loop and through. So over to the right, then over to the left and through. Absolutely, that's right, Diane. So it's under the hoop. I'm wrapping around to the right. I'm wrapping around to the left and pulling through that center. And I'm making sure that I'm keeping them all in the order so that there's no twisting or no extras coming up, nothing extra happening up there. It's keeping them all nice and straight and ready to be woven. 3 more. And I think the weaving part is going to be much easier than you might be expecting. think you're going to be surprised at how simple this next part is. And you have officially learned the only 2 knots that you need for macrame in order to complete this hoop the way that I've shown it. Yours looks like limp spaghetti. Aw. You can make it much tighter. So right here, before I go to the other side, I can pull this much tighter if I want to before I pull all the way through. But you know, limp spaghetti might not be terrible. Limp spaghetti could also be awesome, so stick with it. Can you just start with them all under for the side? Yes, absolutely. There we go. And now I'm finished. You might not be finished, but I'm finished for now. And again, I'm going to keep going because I'm going to repeat this next part quite a bit. So what's going to happen next is each one of these new strands is going to come and take a place over here. So these are going to cross over our originals, but when they cross over, we're also going to be weaving them through this particular set of strings that are already down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first strand and I'm going to go over the first strand and under all of the rest of the strands. So my first strand went over one strand and under all the rest, and it's now going to hang out over here. My second strand is going over the first 2. So it's always going to go over whatever number strand it is. So this is going to go over the first 2 and under all of the rest. And it's going to go off here. Strand 3 is going to go over 3 and under all the rest. And we're making this really nice kind of V shape up here. Over the first 4 and under the rest. And you're going to keep doing that. And notice how I'm laying these all out over here. I'm not connecting them yet, but that will be one of my next steps. 5th strand, over the first 5 and under the rest. 6th strand. And I found that when I did this with the color blocking, it was so much easier to keep track because I knew the purple went over the purple and the blue went over the blue, and it was much easier to see when I was using different colors. Make sure that you're keeping the yarns in the correct order so that there's no twisting up here. And I'm keeping all of these nice in order over here. You go over 2 on your example hoop. Did I go over 2? Each color has 2 strands. So you know what? Yeah, I did. I didn't even notice that until you said that. So I didn't go 1 at a time. I went 2 at a time when I was doing this cross. I didn't even notice that. Thanks for noticing. Yep, and if you want to include beads, sometimes I like to include the beads maybe like here, so like on the last strand here and here, before I tie these double half hitches, you can maybe add like 3 beads right here. I don't usually like to have beads that go all the way through the design. I kind of just like them to add a little bit of accent on the sides. So yeah, you would add them to your yarn at this point before you do the double half hitch. Great questions. I seriously did not even notice that that's how I did it. That's so funny. All right, continuing my weaving. Apparently you can do 2 at a time or 1 at a time and you will still have a really cool design. And you still have lots of forgiveness. This can still move around. So if yours doesn't look perfect, you can still kind of play with them and put them into more of what you want. And here's my last strand, and it just goes over that last one. Come I'm sorry if you're falling far behind, but really all we're doing, I wonder, Jessica, how far you are. If you have all of your things attached and you have these 8, and then you attach those 8, this part with the weaving, it's just 1 strand over and then pull it through, 1 over 2, pull it through, over 3, pull it through, and I bet you can keep going. And I don't want you to have to wait until Monday. I bet you can keep going. So give it a try on the half hitch knot. Okay, we still got some time, don't worry. So now that I have this woven and I have this cool design going on, I do need to secure all of these. Yeah, you're doing fine, don't worry. So I'm going to secure these using my double half hitch. So it really is the same things. You know everything you need to know right now in order to do it. So, and somebody mentioned this last time. Remember how for the double half hitch, I'm pulling it under the hoop first. So you might as well get all of these under the hoop to begin with, since they're all going to need to do that. And then that's going to help. So then I'm going to go ahead and start all my double half hitches. And I think we'll have time that once I get these double half hitches done, I can go back and kind of make sure that your weaving's okay and that you're on the right track with that. So just a refresher, your double half hitch is going to go around to the right. And it was already under the hoop to start, around towards the left and through. And you can move these, and we will end up moving them back where we want them at the end. So around to the right, around to the left, and through. I really do like this weaving pattern too. And what's nice about it is that the other side has just a little bit of a different feel. So this one, the V is coming, pointing down, but you might even end up liking this other side where the V is kind of pointing up. So you can decide at the end which side you want to show in which direction. But I think both of those really nice weaving patterns make for a very nice hoop. Just looks pretty elegant. And it didn't take a lot of money to make this. These wire hoops are not terribly expensive, and a skein of yarn, that's not bad for a really nice looking craft. So I'm going to the right, I'm going to the left, and through. You have plenty of time to catch back up. Don't worry, take your time and enjoy it. Don't rush. The only other thing we're going to do once I have these finished is talk about how you can add extra knots, or you can add extra beads if you want to. So that's the only other thing we'll talk about, but really we have the rest of the time together to just keep securing all of our double half hitches and doing our weaving. And I think you're all going to leave with a really pretty hoop. Yeah, I love that idea. So someone said in the chat that it would be a great housewarming gift if you know like the color, or imagine in like a new nursery, if you have like a really light blue or light pink or whatever color they might be decorating that nursery. I love that. So another question asks, will these hoop keep their color and not turn or rust? I have not ever had any problem with these changing colors. I've never seen them rust, but I have only kept them indoors. I've never tried to hang them on a front door that might have a little bit of moisture in it. So no, I've never had a problem with the hoops turning or rusting. So I don't think that's going to be a problem for you. And you can always play with the colors too. I'm doing a solid color right now, but you saw before that you can really play with different colors of skeins, get lots of different colors, and make a really nice rainbow, very colorful weaving pattern. So another question is about a wooden hoop. So I do think that you could make a wooden hoop work. My only question mark about a wooden hoop is that I'm thinking of kind of like an embroidery hoop. So it's a little thicker. you can still wrap around that embroidery hoop and you still can get these double half hitches, but the thickness is going to be a little weird, but you can definitely make it happen. So I think that would still be a good idea. I love the idea of this being a housewarming gift though. And also like with these nice like woven pieces, you could probably weave in some nice dried floral too, which could be an extra touch if you wanted to add some color or something extra to it. All right, I'm on my last one. So at this point, or at any point, you can decide when you're done with these markers for the centers. I'm not quite done with them yet, but you can feel free to remove that tape when you want to. I like them because they're helping me keep them evenly spaced and keeping my diagonals across my circle nice and the same. So this is one side of my weaving. Looks like this with kind of the V going in this direction. And then the back side looks like this. And so it has more of this upward pattern. So you can decide if you like this side better or if you like this side better. And then another fun thing, and something I definitely did on the other one, is you can spread these. So like maybe if I take two of these knots and spread them apart, you can make a different kind of design. So then I can move these knots around and these all kind of slide, which is nice. So your limp spaghetti is going to help you right here. Look at that. You're going to have movement. So if I take those pairs, these two and these two, and put these two closer at the bottom, then I can kind of like leave a gap in the design, which I think also makes something different or interesting. And you can keep working with these to make them, spread them the way that you want them to be spread. You want to leave gaps, or if you want to put them all together and you don't want any gaps, let me show you what this other side looks like too. Yeah, I think that hoop would be perfect, Diane. I like this side. I like having some of these gaps. I think that's fun. But do like kind of use this tape to help you guide. So if you leave about an inch over here, make sure you leave about an inch over here when you're kind of working on that. You can split it even more than just that. So you can just keep moving things around until you decide what design is your design. Kind of like this one too. That's pretty cool. And if any of these become too loose because you end up moving them a little further down so you don't need as much length, you can just go back and make those double half hitches a little bit tighter if you need to or want to. So a question in the chart, in the chat says, will the yarn stay put or will it move if you move the hoop or touch the yarn? So they will stay put. Um, They will stay put. If it just hangs on a wall, they'll stay put. If you do mess with it, they could potentially fall, but usually they're not gonna fall on their own. There's enough friction on there, and usually the knots are tight enough that I don't think that they'll fall on their own. I think they will fall if you keep touching it, but I don't think that they would just fall on their own. So you don't need extra strands to do it like the way that I was doing it right here, where you can split it up into different patterns. You can use the 16 that you already have to create your own kind of different designs. And then I do want to show you a little bit with some of the wooden beads since we have some time. And if anybody has questions or if you're further back and you get to a part that you're not sure what to do, I can help you since we have some more time. So be careful with your wooden beads that you buy beads that have a large enough opening for yarn to go through. So the bracelet kinds are probably not going to be large enough, but the kind that you do macrame with are definitely going to have large enough holes. You might also want a tweezer or something to kind of help you push the yarn through. So if you have a nice small scissors, or I have some Cricut weeding tools, because why do I not? So if you have something to kind of help you get that yarn through, you can. So let's say that I wanted to add some beads right here. So I can follow this strand, and I'm going to undo that double half hitch. I could have done it at the beginning, but I didn't really know what I wanted yet. So when I undo this double half hitch, I'm going to pay attention to where this strand goes so that I don't lose its place in the weave. So it looks like it goes under this last one, and that's the only place that it goes. So when I pull this up in order to add the yarn, I know exactly where to put it when I'm done, or to add the bead. So I'm going to use some different tools. A teeny tiny crochet hook could go through and grab this yarn. Some kind of tweezers, some kind of pointy pencil. A yarn needle would be genius. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. That would have been very helpful. But anything to kind of get that through. And now, of course, if you want this bead to stay here, you are going to have to tie a knot to tell it to stay there. Otherwise, it will kind of travel down this piece of yarn. Or if you want to add a couple of different beads, I'm going to do that. And then also sometimes I find that, like with those gaps at the bottom of my design, you can add Lark's head knots here, and you can add more yarn if you want it to be an even thicker kind of look. So if you don't like having those gaps, you can fill them in as much as you'd like. I'm just grabbing this yarn through. And this is kind of where I want these two beads to be. So I'm going to tie a knot to keep them there. And then I'm going to take this strand and re-secure it with my double half hitch. And remember that I just went under this last one. So I keep my weaving pattern exactly the same too. And I'm reattaching the double half hitch by going to the right, wrapping to the right. Oops, I didn't go under first. Under the metal hoop. Maybe. Under the metal hoop. There we go. Wrap towards the right. And wrap towards the left and through. Great. So I've added those. You can mirror it. You can do something different. You can pull up a different strand and kind of add some beads to a different place. You can also add beads down at the bottom. So as I said before, if you don't like this gap, you're welcome to attach more strands using Lark's head knots to just have this whole bottom full, if that's what you want for your design. You can also do some other knots. Wonder if they make any type of snap-on bead. Oh my goodness. You know what? I don't know if I've ever seen that, but you might be onto something there. Maybe those seashell ones, they're not technically snap, but I bet they stick on those seashells. So here too, sometimes I like to take a couple of the strands from the outside. So maybe I take 2 and 2 strands from the outside and have them meet in the center. So then that's going to give me another interesting thing to look at the bottom of my hoop. And you can tie these together using any kind of knot, or you can tie them together using a bead, which I think is what I'm going to try to do if I can get these strands through a pretty big bead. That's what I'm going to try. I feel like, Diane, you should invent that, because I think a snap-on bead is genius. And you can add as much or as little decoration as you want to your hoop. Make it your own. You don't have to just use beads. You could tie on other pieces of yarn, other colors of yarn, other fibers, different thicknesses of yarn, just to kind of play with texture. You're welcome to try all of those things and more. And I really want to see what you're working on. So if anyone feels like sharing a picture at any point, I'd love to see what you're doing. I'm going to take just 2 of these strands instead of all 4 to get through this last bead down here. Any recommendations for unpicking your half hitches? Yes. This tool that I'm using is a weeding tool from Cricut. If you do any like Cricut crafting, I like the point on this and I like this long end. So yes, I think I could use that easily to undo my half hitches. Ooh, Patty sharing, do you see it? That's so pretty. I love that. Oh, yes. And then feel free to leave as much length with your yarn as you want to. Those colors are beautiful. And that I think you said you were doing speckled turquoise, is that right? Those are really pretty. Nicely done. So feel free to keep moving your strands around and make a different design than what I'm doing. Make your own design. Add beads where you want them, add feathers, add string. You can wrap. I've done things where I wrap embroidery floss around some of these strands, and that's fun too. So Charlotte's asking about yesterday's pillow. And yesterday's pillow, if you have, I don't remember, Charlotte, if you have Instagram or not, but on Instagram, on 4M Coleman, the number 4M Coleman, I do have that pattern available for you. It's also underneath the video in the description on the YouTube channel so that you'll be able to make that too. Yeah, no problem. So we're just about at the end of our class, and I am obviously trying hard to get this bead through. And I could be doing this a different way that would make it easier on myself, but you know, it's Friday and we want to do things the hard way, apparently. Thank you. All right. I really think this is going to look cool once I get it through. I'm sure there is another way for me to do this. If anyone comes up with one, let me know. Yes, Kim, I can go through that weaving pattern one more time. You better believe it. As soon as I get this through, I'm going to feel really good about myself. Good thing I didn't try to get all 4 through because I don't think that would have worked. I think 2 is probably the max for that size bead. There we go. Now I feel good about myself. Took a minute. Okay. And you can position that bead where you want it to lay. And then I am going to tie a knot right here so that the bead doesn't move down any further. Can you add a bead before you tie the original knots? Yes, absolutely. There you go. I am going to go ahead and take off my blue tape at this point. And I am going to tell you about the weaving one more time before we go. And then I'm going to talk one more time about the strands at the bottom. So you have more options for your strands at the bottom too, where you can decide if these are all going to be one length. You can decide if you're going to do kind of like a chevron or kind of come to a point or go out like a dovetail. My Instagram is the number 4M Coleman. We also have a Learn with Michael's Instagram, and you can catch a lot of my classes and a lot of other classes on that Instagram as well. So I recommend that when you're deciding how to cut the lengths of these, use something like masking tape to keep you keep a nice straight line going across how long you would like this length. So I can attach all of these yarns to this length and kind of give it a haircut. And then I can go through with a nice pair of scissors and I can decide to cut these all the same length. If I wanted to do this on a diagonal, I could purposely put my masking tape on a diagonal. And I don't necessarily need all these lengths. You can save these, you can add them in, you can tie them in, you can do lots of different things with them. But I gave it a nice haircut so that they're all nice and even. And I know you can't get a good picture of it right now from how it's sitting on my table, but I'll take a nice picture and put that on my Instagram for you too to kind of see what that bottom looks like and how that hanging bead kind of adds some extra interest. So let me talk about the weaving and then I think we're ready to wrap things up. So with your weaving, there are two different ways to do it, or lots of ways to do it, but when you're weaving, we had our 8 strands going this way. Oh, Lizzie, yay! Love that. That color work is really good. I like the changing colors. Great job. Yay. So you can put your colors, your 8 colors this way. You can put your 8 colors this way. And then when you're doing your weaving, you can either choose to do 1 strand at a time, or you can do 2 strands at a time. And so I did these 2, I think it goes this way. I did these 2 all the way across. Then the next 2, I went under 2 and all the way across. Then the third one, I went under 3 sets and all the way across. 4 goes under 4 all the way across. So you just go underneath. With the 1 at a time method, it was a little bit easier to explain, I think, where the first strand went under 1 and over the top, or you can go over 1 and under the rest, either way. Then the second strand goes over 2 and under the rest. The third strand goes over 3 and under the rest, and you can keep going like that. Someone's asking one more question about extra knots. So kind of this bead is that same idea of extra knots. If you don't want to add beads, you can do the same kind of thing with knots. So maybe I take a couple of these strands over here, and I can do another macrame knot, which is called a half square knot. So you take 1 strand, let me show it like this on the white paper, and you make a number 4, and the end comes through, and you pull up, and then you make a backwards number 4 to make the other side of your knot, square knot. This end comes up through the middle, and you pull that up. So this is your square knot, and you can kind of play with these square knots. And you can take some strands and add these extra knots for some extra texture. So you can see how I did that. Instead of me putting a bead, I could have pulled those through and then made a square knot to kind of hold the bead, or to not have a bead and just have a knot right here that kind of gathers those together. Another macrame knot, some of you might know from your bracelet making days, is kind of like a twist, where if you keep doing the same half square knot, so make the number 4, pull the end under and through, make the number 4, pull the end under and through. And if you keep going in that direction and you don't change directions, then this is going to end up making a twist around this cord, which is going to give you another kind of knot that's going to do another kind of thing to lay on your big old design. So thanks for asking that. That was a good reminder. I had forgotten about that. So you might want to wait to cut your strings. The reason why we had them so long was because you can see how much string that takes to do some of those knots. So see how this string is now much shorter than the others because it was used in a knot. So keep that in mind and maybe do your cutting at the bottom at the very end. Yay! I love that blue one. Yes, I love those colors. Great job. Thanks for sharing. All right, I think we're at the end of our time together, so thank you for joining me. You will be able to find this video again on YouTube on Monday, so you might have to wait a little bit, but I think most of you were able to get it with me, so I appreciate that. Come back to any of my classes on Thursdays and Fridays. Next week, I think we're going to be learning some things with Rip Dye. You can see any of the previous videos if you want to learn how to make the chunky knit pillow we were kind of talking about. That video is already available on YouTube for you to watch too. It was really nice to see you all. Thanks for joining me on this Friday, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.